Ultimately, however, the Russian effort succeeded in its goal of undermining support for Hillary Clinton in the democratic process more generally because we allowed it to. I've said it twice before this morning, and I'll repeat it a third time now. Media reports from the beginning pointed to Russian involvement. Everyone knew what was going on and who was behind it while it was occurring. When Donald Trump on July 27, 2016 called on Russia to hack and release Hillary Clinton's emails, he was doing so in response to the nearly universal belief that Russia was behind the dumping of internal DNC communications. Nevertheless, Trump, his campaign, and news outlets from coast to coast gleefully pounced on the emails from senior DNC staff and senior Clinton campaign aide John Podesta without much hesitation, given how and why it ended up in their hands. Worse still was the receptivity of huge swaths of the American public to Moscow's ill-gotten gains. This must never be allowed to happen again. To do that, we must harden the population against these type of attacks and simultaneously work to detoxify our politics. Neither will be easy. We need to prepare the American people to recognize and reject these type of attacks when they occur. Finland, which shares a long border with Russia and has been a target of protracted active measures campaigns going back decades, relies on strong institutions and a well-educated populace as the first line of defense against its enormous neighbor. In the United States, the state of our civics education is woeful, and it's an afterthought for many school districts in an era when parents and many future employers want a greater emphasis on science and math. That needs to change, and America's school kids need to have a much more consistent and detailed exposure to civics all the way from K-12. Not only will it build a population that is less susceptible to manipulation, it will have the added benefit of boosting our embarrassingly low voter participation rate. Finally, no active measures campaign will succeed against a government whose citizens believe that it is serving their interests and discharging its duties honestly. Russia succeeds where there is mistrust and a lack of confidence in government and in other national institutions. That is the case in this country at the moment, and I'm reminded almost daily that I'm a member of an institution with an approval rating in the low single digits, maybe the low double digits. The American people see us as ineffective, corrupt, or both, and they desperately want us to work together to solve the nation's problems. When we repeatedly fail to pass appropriation bills, when nominees for senior government posts languish for years in the Senate, or when simple debt extension votes become an occasion for political hostage-taking, we are doing Putin's work for him and preparing the ground for his next attack. We may be in an era when neither party can afford to give an inch, but at some point both Republicans and Democrats are going to have to relearn the art of compromise and to redefine victory if the American experiment is to flourish and if we're to beat back the challenge of nativism and foreign attacks on liberal democracies.